Kate's impressive enough that she can do a mic drop in the middle of her speech instead of at the end. That's kind of impressive. Pull that off. I'll take the turtle on it. Well, Cortland baseball has had a long history of success. But in the 1991-92 school year, a hiring took place that raised the program to unprecedented heights. Of course, I'm referring to me being hired as assistant SID responsible for baseball. Yes. Okay, there was another hiring that year that may have had a difference as well, and that would be Steve Owens, a former St. Lawrence two-sport star and Chicago Cubs farmhand, who was brought in by Director of Athletics Lee Roberts to be the new baseball head coach. For the next 8 years, Cortland baseball evolved from a pretty good regional team and conference power to a national power. And that success has continued to grow for almost 2 decades. Now, my memory of some of these turning points, again, I was fortunate enough, again, as I said, to come in the same year Steve did. So I can remember back in 1993, we had the blizzard of 93. With the big storm in the middle of March, about 3 feet of snow, and trying to get a baseball season in wasn't the easiest thing. And it came down to, in the SUNYAC tournament, we won the SUNYAC tournament, but back then there wasn't an automatic bid to the NCAA for that SUNYAC title. So what we did instead was first sign up for the ECAC tournament, and they sent us to Hartwick, and we won that game, and then we just stayed on the road, and the next day went to RPI and won that game. And that got us our 19th and 20th wins of the season, because we just weren't getting in that many games. But it was enough to make the NCAA tournament. And the reason that's kind of important is we haven't missed yet. It's been 25 straight years of NCAA tournaments, and that was the first. Now in 1995, the NCAA had a 4-team regional at Ithaca College. And we opened up that tournament, and we had a little bit of success the first 2 years in the regional, but not too much. And in 95, we opened up with Stony Brook, which was then a Division III program. They had a shortstop named Joe Nathan. You might recognize the name because he's been a long-time closer in the major leagues. But at the time, he didn't pitch, he was a shortstop. But we opened up with a loss to Stony Brook in that regional, so we had to come back. But the first team we had to face was Ithaca, and at that time, to be honest, Ithaca kind of had our number. We really had trouble beating them, and now on their field in an elimination game in the regional, we had to beat them, and we beat them. Matter of fact, the winning pitcher, Scott Landers, is sitting here at one of the tables. He was a freshman pitcher who won that game. So now, we knock out Ithaca, and then we come back and we beat Stony Brook, knock them out, and that set up the game on Saturday against RPI, and we had to win that to force another game, and we won that game on Saturday. So as we're getting ready to go, now that we won the 2 games on Saturday, so now as we're getting ready to leave and get ready for Sunday, Steve drives by where I'm walking out of the park, and he looks at me and he goes, "We're going to win this tomorrow." Okay, he actually said it a lot more colorfully, and I can't use the language he actually said, but he basically said, "We're going to win this game tomorrow." And the next day we did that, we beat RPI again, and we made the program's first NCAA World Series appearance. He went on and led us to 3 more World Series in 1997, 8, and 9. One of the seniors on the 93 team that made the NCAA tournament was sitting next to me here, current athletic director Mike Ertz, who was a senior outfielder. In his nomination of Steve, he said the following: "He has that special gift to create an environment that everyone learns and thrives in, wants to be a part of, and is pushed to heights of greatness that they never dreamed of prior to being around that coach." And on that note, I present to you for induction into the SUNY Cortland C Club Hall of Fame honorary inductee, Steve Owens.
You said all those nice things about me?
I did.
Were you drinking? I didn't go here, a little bit different than everybody else. But I'm really happy that I was here. Really happy and proud. It's a great place. I got to meet the president today. He brought us around all over the place. And when you have leadership way up there, and then everyone that I saw today and this weekend was awesome. They were friendly, normal people, not stuffy, like down to earth, mostly New York State, normal people. Love it. And I loved coaching here because that's what I recruited and that's what I wanted around me.
Fran, you were awesome too, by the way, as an SID. You have a tremendous amount of care, I mean, to do everything the right way. And I see that at every level of this university right now, which is even at a higher level. I can't believe this place right now. It's at a higher level than when I was here. And it's really exciting. I know I only have 5 minutes, so I'm going to get going here through what I got to talk about. I don't want to be the guy. I've been at a lot of these banquets. I don't want to be that guy. But I want to congratulate the other inductees, obviously. What a bunch of special people. I want to thank Michael for the nomination and the C Club Hall of Fame committee and all of the people who communicated with me and that I had to get stuff back to, and I was tardy. They were persistent and excellent. I want to thank my parents who wanted to be here, but they can't be, they're not healthy enough. I want to thank them for their unselfishness and their guidance throughout my entire life, even today. I would like to thank my wife, Catherine, who's sitting right here. And, you know, I try to tell my players a lot of stuff, but I tell them, almost all of them now, that the most important decision that you make in your life is who you live with and who you marry. That's the most important decision. And I was pretty good at that one. You know, I did a great job. But she's my best friend, she's my biggest supporter, and she's my top assistant coach. And she also is a recent breast cancer survivor, and she went through that whole deal. Met it with wicked toughness, no complaining, laser focus, step by step by step, missed no days of work, missed none of my games, missed none of my 3 kids' games. And then she got through whatever. When she got done with that, she said that was easier than living with me. My children, Jack, Sam, and Jane, were the one syllable family. So proud of their choices, who they are, how they're growing and developing, what they've done. And they go to Bryant. Jack and Sam are on my baseball team. One's a pitcher, one's a catcher, and a shortstop, and Jane's going to be coming the next year. So when you work your whole life as a coach and make no money, you take advantage of tuition remission when you can. I'm also, you know, I miss a lot of stuff as a coach on weekends. If you want to be good, you got to work. And so I can't be at everything. And so now I get to coach them. So I missed the Little League game, big deal. I get to watch them when they're going to be in their prime. My bosses, I've had 3. They were awesome. I feel so lucky to do what I love to do, and to do it. I get to go to work and like my boss. And then when they figure out that I know what I'm doing, they just leave me alone. It's incredible. Lee Roberts, I think I was just the only guy walking down the hall, but I was just finished up doing some grad work at Ithaca, and I bumped into him, and the coach had left, and they had a .25 position for the baseball coach, and I said, I want that position. And then he interviewed me like a couple weeks later and gave me the job, brought me out, showed me the one duffel bag of equipment, and gave me the key, and that was it. Really didn't say too much more to me very much, except, you know, every now and then he would yell at me a little bit. But Dick Rockwell, my athletic director at Lemoyne, who recognized my work here and provided me with the opportunity to move on and coach at another level, and I'm very appreciative of that. And my current boss, Bill Smith, who's an Auburn, New York resident, played football at Colgate, and he's provided me the resources and support to grow my program and facilities, to to a national level, and provide my family and myself security, while at the same time being one of my friends. Very rare. I want to thank my players. I'm so fortunate to have had such great kids play for me. And for me to have the opportunity to positively impact them both on and off the field. I'm so proud of how hard they worked for me, and I'm even more proud of the type of men that they have developed into. Great leaders, trusted friends, talented employees. I wore each and every one of them out for 4 years. I got after them as hard as I could, and now, you know, they get to make fun of me, mock me, and you know, do everything to me for the rest of the time. So there's a little bit of a trade-off there, but super kids. Special thanks to the following guys who are in my world and have gone on to excel in the world of athletics. Obviously, Mike Ertz, who was one of my players, and then he was an assistant coach for me, and then he went on to a grad assistant, and now he's the athletic director of this school, which is remarkable, and he's doing a great job, and I'm so proud of his accomplishments and his insight and who he is. He runs his department like he is, and it's awesome, and I would be, you know, I would welcome the opportunity to work in front of him. Scott Brown, great pitcher for me, great coach for Coach Brown, and he had several stops. He's now the pitching coach at Vanderbilt University, arguably the best pitching coach in the country at probably one of the best programs in the country. And just, it's hard to get there. And he got there, and he's staying there. Scott Landers, who was that pitcher that won that game, that changed our program. And he, you know, he was a teacher, and then he decided to become a coach, and now he's the head coach at Oswego, and he coached under Coach Brown and myself when I was at Lemoyne for, you know, really no money. And then now he's done a really good job with the Oswego program, and has become a nationally recognized program. And finally, Joe Brown, who's the current head coach here, who I believe might be the winningest coach percentage-wise of all coaches in all divisions 1, 2, or 3. He's done an incredible job with great energy. Joe was my assistant for 7 years. He made $1,000 a year. That didn't even cover the gas for him to drive up every single day. He's taken this program to the top, to the top program, one of the top programs in the country every single year. Cortland. We're not talking about basketball or something that's played inside. The baseball. California, Florida. You know, we're talking about baseball here. Pretty remarkable. I want to thank all of the players that traveled here to be with me today. I would like to take all those guys and go play a game with them. They were all really good players, and I can't wait to have some funny stories tonight with them. I mean, Brian Jack traveled all the way from Arizona, my first captain. But I got my start here. I made $13,000. I had a $10,000 budget. And I'm sure that right now Joe's asking Mike for $10,000 just for baseballs. We built the program the hard way, one step at a time, one day at a time, with a plan. And to have been a small part of the current history of this great program is so fulfilling. It's a part of my life I will never, ever forget. Thank you, Cortland, for letting me be a Red Dragon.